All right, y'all. So I'm at it again. A lot of research, a lot of studying, and just decided to take a break. Put up some of what I've been researching, what I've been learning. So I've been again. If you saw my last video, I've been talking about the chakras, studying the chakras, right? And a lot people go to healers. There's people that go to psychics. They go to doctors. And I'm not talking about your traditional doctors. I'm talking about your spiritual doctors. Tarot card readers, stuff like that. Now, that's I would never go, but I'm not going to knock people who do. I personally would not go to some tarot card, doctor or spiritual practitioner to tell me about me. I just won't do it. Uh, but again, I'm not knocking those who do. Personally, I would, because I understand there's things I understand. Put it like that. Let's just say that there's things that I understand. Do I believe it's true? Oh, 100%. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there who can legitimately read you like a book and tell you about your whole life. It's a fact. It can be done. I personally wouldn't do it because I know certain things, and I wouldn't want to expose myself to certain entities, energies, frequencies, right? They're called thought forms or tulpas. I don't want certain tulpas to attach to me. When you go to people to do these readings on you, y'all don't know it, but you guys are letting in some tulpas. Look up tulpa, Tulpas. But anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is this. So the chakras are interesting, right? And here's why knowing about your chakras is are vitally and critically important and very necessary. Uh, your cell phone, right? Your cell phone, for instance, right? It's all kind of receptors in the cell phone, and the cell phone is receiving. The receptors are receiving information from various broadcasts, right? Frequencies. And there's points on the cell phone. Now, I'm no engineer, so I don't know what the points are, but I know I have basic common sense. So there's certain points on the cell phone or even this computer or your TV that receive information. You can call it the antennas or whatever, but there are also chips inside of the cell phone that receive particular information. Why am I saying that? Is because your body, just like the TV, that's the computer, the cell phone, has points or portals or points of entry that receive information from, let's call it the let's call it the matrix. Let's call it the matrix. This is a network, uh, a network of etheric energy. I don't want to get too sciencey on you guys, and then you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Uh, etheric energy. Think of etheric energy as Wi-Fi. That you know what? That's a better example. Wi-Fi. All of our technologies and gadgets and phones and stuff. We're all acquiring information from Wi-Fi, right? Wi-Fi is we all know what Wi-Fi is, right? That's what allows all these computers to operate, right? It's a transference of frequencies of energies of information, encoded data, right? It's coded data in frequencies that are transferred or transmitted to the receptors of our computers, our phones, and our gadgets. Well, we have these same receptors, and these receptors are called these are what our well, I'm bugging out. Our chakras are. That's what our chakras are. Chakras are. Now, there's a lot of chakras. I mean, there's actually there's an endless amount, but there's seven that we mainly discuss, and there's eight that we sometimes discuss. There's mainly seven that we discuss, but there's eight that we also discuss too. But the point is, all seven. We'll keep it with seven for now. Seven is what we kind of like traditionally use. Uh, these chakras are they're dope. They're dope because what they are, they're portals, right? They're entry points. I spoke about them in my previous videos. They're circular in terms of geometrics. They're circular in terms of their geometrics. And the reason they're circular is because they're spinning. And it's actually like a disc. Think of a CD disc. and it spins, but it's a light entity. It's energy. It's light. It's an entity. It's an energy, and it is light, and it spins in a clockwise rotational formation. And the reason why it spins is because it's constantly taking in energy, right? It's taking the energy in, it's rotating the energy like this. So in this cycle, it's taking it in and it's bringing it out. It's taking it in, it's bringing it out. It's taking it in, it's bringing it out. It's taking it in, bringing it out. And that's a healthy chakra. If the chakra is healthy, it is actually, rotating the energy, the spin, right? Now that's healthy because it's taking the energy in, and each chakra is, let's say, plugged into a specific frequency, right? Like root chakra. I told you guys about this before. Your root chakra is connected to it's associated with the earth element. So the root chakra is what keeps you grounded. If you are grounded, like if you're a stable, grounded man, that means you have a healthy root chakra. Your root chakra is flowing. It's fluid, fluidity. It's imagine a river or a stream that flows with no dam or no buildup of logs and branches and whatever you find that might create some kind of blockage in the channel or the conduit of the stream. So that's what, if you're a very grounded person, and when I say grounded, I mean you know who you are. You're solid in yourself. Uh, you're not easily swayed. You don't suffer from FOMO. And put it like this: you're not influenced by this physical reality easily. Easily, that's the word, because we all are. But you're not easily influenced by physical reality. You don't have to be the man in every room. You don't feel the need for clout. You don't need the attention. You're not an attention seeker. You're not a people pleaser. You're solid, you're confident, you're comfortable, you are grounded in who you are. You're not arrogant, you're not overly confident, you're grounded. And that means you have a healthy root chakra, very healthy. If your root chakra is not healthy, then you're everything the opposite of what I just said. So instead of grounded, you're kind of like willowing with the wind. You're willowing with the wind, right? You're at every club, every party. You need to be in every room. You need to be everywhere. You crave attention. You're starving for attention. So that's the opposite of that's an unhealthy root chakra. You see this in people all the time. There's people who put people down so that they can feel up, right? They always have to say something to put you down so they can feel up. They're not, that means they don't have a healthy root chakra. When you have a healthy root chakra, you function optimally in terms of being grounded. It's associated with the earth element, and earthing is actually a technique used by, uh, I believe it's therapists, physical therapy, right? Physical therapy uses a technique called earthing, where you ground yourself by walking barefoot in the earth. So your root chakra has to do with the element of earth. It's associated with earth and groundedness. Then up from that, you have your solar, your sacral. No, it's your solar chakra. Right. Hold up. I got it written down right here. It's your sacral. I'm sorry. Your sacral chakra. And that has to do with desire to live, right? Your desire to acquire things, to make yourself known, to your desire to, it's sexual. That's where your sexual energies reside. But your sexual energy can be transmuted. It's called sexual transmutation, which means you channel that energy, that sexual energy, because remember, all the chakras are energy. You channel that energy and you use that sexual desire for desire to make your dreams become a reality. And that, so when that sacral chakra is, again, flowing fluidly, right? It's fluidity, it's flows, healthy, balance. People who have a healthy sacral chakra, you tend to be pretty successful, or they tend to achieve their goals. That sacral chakra, again, it's a sexual energy. When it's transmuted, when you're not being promiscuous and just running around sleeping on everybody, uh, that energy, it's one of the most powerful chakras there is, because your sex drive is extremely powerful, and I think everybody knows that by now, right? So when that energy is balanced and it's healthy and it's fluid, you those people tend to achieve their dreams and achieve their goals. That's what that chakra mainly, in terms of its operation and its responsibility. You'll see people achieve their goals when they have a healthy sacral chakra. Then you have your solar plex chakra. I got them written down all here. And the solar plex is very similar to the sacral because it's very close, right? Is that nearness, that proximity. So it too also solar plex also has to do with achieving your dreams, achieving your goals. And the element for that is fire, right? The element for that is fire. That's why you ever hear people, there's a term, he has a fire in the belly. He has fire in the belly. That's where that term comes from. It's coined from the solar plexus chakra because the element of the solar plexus chakra energy is orange. The color is orange and it's fire. So when a person has fire in the belly, they're very passionate, driven, ambitious, go-getters, determined. So again, it's similar to the sacral because it's right next to it in terms of proximity. So those two chakras, when they're fluid, again, balanced and healthy, you tend to perform optimally in terms of your dreams and achieving your goals. Next on the list, we have what's that? The heart chakra, and that again, the heart has to do with love and how love flows, how you allow love to flow through you. And it's very important, this chakra. It's very important. Don't underestimate the force and power of love because this has to do not so much with how you love others, but with how you love yourself. And if you study the heart chakra like I've been doing, we don't love ourselves. We think we love it. We don't even think we love ourselves. Because to think about it, how many of us actually throughout the day stop and become aware of self love? How many times have you stopped and said, you know what? I really love myself. Like nobody really, I don't know any. I don't do it. I can't speak for nobody else, but I don't. I can't remember ever just stopping while I'm at work or on a train or wherever in my day, just stop and take a few minutes and say, you know what, I love you, Marlon. You know what I mean? Just like self love. So that chakra, when you are, remember this, this has to do with higher levels of awareness. When you are aware of your heart chakra and that the entity, the energy that is responsible for is the force of love. Uh, and again, all of them has to do with fluidity, how fluid the flow of each unique energy is. If your heart chakra is balanced and free flowing, there's a lot of self love. And because remember, I tell you, because it's circular. And so it takes the energy in and puts the energy out. It takes the energy. It's input, output, input, output. That's think of it like that. Chakras are input, output, input, output. Takes an energy, releases it. It takes an energy, like, and that's what keeps it healthy. Like even oceans and I don't oceans. I don't know if it's necessarily oceans, but like rivers, like yeah, I think it might be like not ponds, not ponds, but I believe like lakes. Like, what's the difference between a lake and a pond? Is one takes in water and release water. I believe that would be more like a lake where water is coming in and going out. Therefore, is in the water that is in the lake is always clean or healthy because of the influx of water and the outgoing of water. Think of the chakra like that, right? You got water coming in and going out at the same time. So because water's constantly coming in and constantly going out, the lake stays healthy, stays balanced, right? I think a pond water just kind of sits there, so it's stagnate or whatever. But that's geology, and that's a whole other stuff. I got to brush up on that. But be that as that may be, you get the analogy, you get the point I'm trying to make. So it shows the heart chakra is very important in terms of self love, how you receive love for yourself, and how you emit that same love to others. But it's more so about how you love yourself, right? Because loving yourself will make you a optimal being, not a human being. I always tell people like you're not a human being because a human being just means flip it backwards, being human. Human being means you're being human. You see what I'm saying? But you're not human. you're actually your coded information. What are we, right? I'm gonna tell you right now. We're coded information that has been projected, pushed out onto 3D reality, which is matter. And that's what I am. That's what you are. Matter. Your body, my body, your face, your nose, all of it is the expression of, it's the expression of encoded information into DNA. The DNA takes that encoded information, converts it, transmutes it into proteins, and those proteins ultimately results or are the product of what matter. Yeah, so that's what we are. That's what every human being is. So human being just means we're being human. We're being human. Human being. We're being human. But we're being human. So if I'm being human, what was I before being human? It's highly philosophical shit. What was I before being human? And that is, I talked about this in the previous video. LEF, right? Luminous energetic field, right? Which is uh, the energy that envelops the physical being. The energy that envelops, meaning surrounds or encompasses my physical being, that's who I truly am. That energy is projecting itself or decoding itself, encoding, decoding, and translating itself as a physical being, which is what we now call human, or what I would be called a human being, because I'm being human. But before being human, what I really am is this LEF, luminous energetic field. All we are. Every person is a LEF, luminous energetic field. Now, which one we have? We have the throat chakra. Now, when your throat chakra is same thing, balanced, fluid, free flowing, you communicate optimally. Now, here's the interesting thing, because if I say we communicate optimally, you think you're a good orator, good speaker, communicator, conversationalist. No, 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 no. Has nothing to do with that. It does. It does. But it doesn't. What it really has to do with, because we're talking about higher dimensions, higher levels, higher states of awareness and consciousness. What it really is talking about in terms of communication is being able, when you have your throat chakra optimally performing, optimal performance, peak performance, it means that you're able to speak to the universe things into existence. Aha. You see what I'm saying? Uh, you can literally call things that are not as though they are, which is biblical. That's what Paul talks about in the Bible. So when you have an optimized peak performance throat chakra, your words uh, carry extreme weight, right? Your words are very, very powerful when your throat chakra is optimal. Now, if you can't communicate well and you're very hesitant and timid, then your words fall on deaf ears and you're weak. That means you have a weak or a blocked, disturbed throat chakra. From there, we have the third eye chakra, which is probably one of my favorites because I exercise that shit a lot. I know my third eye chakra is optimal. Is optimal. It no, it's not optimal, but it's good. It's good. The reason why I say it's not optimal because there's still a lot for me to learn. There's a lot that I have not yet tapped into, but it's getting there. I'm on the ascension in terms of the third eye chakra. And your third eye chakra, the properties of the third eye chakra is insight, awareness, guidance, sound judgment, uh, intuition, being in tune with the intuition, right? Intuitiveness, having knowledge without evidence. That's intuition. How do you know this? There is no proof. but you know. And that's what the third eye does. It's responsible for intuition, insight, awareness, perception, ESP, right? Sensory perception, spiritual abilities. That's what the third eye chakra is responsible for. And when that is balanced and whole and healthy and fluid, free flowing, then you optimally can tap in to higher spiritual awareness. And last but not least, you have your crown chakra. The crown chakra is considered the I am that I am. That's now when you're on God level. Can't even call yourself a human being. You ain't being human no more. You've transcended all of humanity and its weaknesses, flaws, and your faculties are on a whole other level. I have not yet ascended to that level. I hope so. Hope to. Uh, but yeah, so those. I just went through 7 chakras for you. Gave you that's a quick tutorial, like a little it's kind of a rough draft. It's much more. There's a lot more, but I chopped it up into little chunks that's digestible for every and anyone. Till next time, peace.